their pint, Michael.
Greetings, pop pickers, and welcome to the Best of the Afternoon Show, 1998. Shouldn't take long, eh, Arky?
No.
We'll be looking back on a year of quality items, and if you've been asking...
Where are they now?
About the indecipherable boys, or fondly remembering...
Mouse news.
Or, of course...
Is it Lard's Animal Sanctuary?
Well, they're all coming up in the next 2 hours, along with highlights from the worlds of in-depth reportage, the gallery of dogs, Fat Harry White. In fact, this show has sent the quality itemometer into double figures, and Adam, and believe it or not, it's all for you. But before you rush headlong under the gaudy Christmas tree that is, me and him,
Hiya.
and unwrap these treasures one by one, let's spare a thought for others less fortunate than ourselves. What could possibly make this festive season complete for them?
There's so little you can do to really make a difference, except perhaps to give a gift to treasure in years to come.
Do you know, you're right, Lard. But it's so hard to find that special gift, especially at the last minute.
You're not wrong, Mark, but maybe there is just one thing that springs to mind.
Once in a generation, a truly unique voice comes along to straddle the boundaries between pop, classical, and pop music. The purest voice in Britain today is that of heaven-sent chorister Tommy Grimsdale.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Thanks.
For the first time on stained glass vinyl, hear Tommy's angelic tones preserved forever before his balls drop on such choir stall greats as That Jerusalem.
Did those fade in ancient times walk up on England's mountains green? Thanks.
Oops, watch the cut glass, mother, lest the pitch-perfect purity of Tommy Grimsdale should shatter that cut glass I was just talking about on the tear-inducing Walking in the Air, theme from The Snowplow.
I'm walking on the air, I'm walking on the air again. People down below are walking on the road. Thanks.
Mark and Lard Enterprises present the best choir boy album in the world.
Ever!
Ever. Heaven must be missing an angel, because Tommy Grimsdale is here on Earth right now. And remember, this album is not available. That was a top flight pop record. This is Mark Radcliffe and the Hapless Boy Lard with our Best of the Afternoon show, 98. And now on the BBC Home Service, at the pianoforte, Mr. Mark Riley. Dario G with Sunshine, 97 to 99 FM Radio 1, and this is the Best of the Afternoon show. But wait, what is this idyllic grotto I see, lightly dusted with the fairy touch of winter snow or summit?
Is it Lard's Animal Sanctuary?
It most certainly is Lard's Animal Sanctuary, that audience gathering item quality thing airwaves of.
With care.
With care, right. An item put together especially for you. Right, so Lard, yesterday you had that donkey that he'd rescued from the hard shoulder of the M6, where a Scotsman had been beating it.
With a broom.
It never ceases to amaze me, you know, how cruel people can be. Yeah. Right, so what happened to that donkey?
Well, I'm not sure, Mark, because I put it in a cupboard over there.
Right.
And it's not been moving much. So I don't think it's very well.
Right, okay.
But I don't know much about animals anyway.
Right, yeah.
So, you know.
That was yesterday's, anyway.
Yeah.
So what have you got today?
Oh, well, Mark, this is a tragic story. I've got this beautiful swan down here. Can you see it? Really beautiful, and it is a terrible tale. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me.
How cruel
people can be.
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, what had happened to this then?
Well, honestly, I was beggars belief. There was 4 young girls throwing hedgehogs at it on the hard shoulder of the M6.
Well, it never amazes me. No, it never ceases
to amaze me. And it was and it's in a bad way.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying.
What's wrong with it?
It's got bald patches.
Yeah.
And it's only got one eye.
Oh dear. I know. Has it been speared out with a hedgehog?
Yeah.
It never ceases to amaze me, how cruel people can be.
I saw one of the hedgehogs running off, scuttling away with an eye on one of his. Really, really sad. So, the job's abandoned once again.
Can I stroke it?
You can, yeah. Do you want to go?
Is it placid?
Yeah, it's flaccid at the moment.
No, is it placid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to look after it. I'm going to nurture it and feed it biscuits and stuff, because that's what they like. And dog food. I don't think they actually eat dog food, but it's all I've got in.
Right, okay, yeah.
So that'll be all right.
So what is it again? I've forgotten.
It's a swan.
A swan, of course it's a swan. I can see
daft.
that. Have you got a name for it?
Yeah. It's called Swan.
Swan.
Yeah. And what I'm going to do with that, see the donkey's not been moving much.
Right.
I'm going to put it in a cupboard with the donkey.
Right, okay.
Just keep it company.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll find out tomorrow.
Right. Well, join us tomorrow then, and we'll find out how Swan is going on. It's another great instalment of Lard's Animal Sanctuary, the radio item that never ceases to amaze how cruel
people can be.
People can be.
Is it Lard's Animal Sanctuary?
Radio 1's national anthems.
That's Robbie Williams with Angels. Now, as you gather round your warm hearthside this Christmas, we'd like you to take a moment to remember the poor musicians who've given their all for your entertainment, but who now lie forgotten like broken baubles in the attic of history. It's a rare man indeed who will pause in his festivities and ask,
where are they now? Today's where are they now? Spotlight's a yard Yardbirds, a rhythm and blues band who started in the beat boom of the early 60s.
Yardbirds?
Yeah, the early 60s.
Yeah.
Although they showed great promise and had a couple of minor hits, their career fizzled out. Many would say due to their ever-changing lineup. The band who had a stream of guitarists over the 5-year lifespan. They were great and they rocked, particularly in the last incarnation, but they were honestly a fantastic band, as we can hear now in this track, Little Games.
Little games are for little boys. I'm growing up and changing all my toys. Aeroplanes, motor cars, goldfish and old jam jars. I just don't play these games no more.
The Yardbirds and Little Games. I mean, that was from 60s sort of mod era, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what would you see was the most telling image of the mod era?
Well, I think it was sort of iconicalised, really, by the classic British car, the Mini Cooper.
Yes, I would agree with that.
You'd agree with
I would say the Mini Cooper was the classic image.
Anyway, as you say, that was the Yardbirds with Little Games from 1967, which was just after, really, the Mini Cooper really made its mark. The Mini Cooper. And featuring what is, to my mind, the best rock and roll guitarist in the world ever. He's a young, fresh-faced lad who played blistering lead solos and meaty, rock-solid rhythm guitars. I say, I thought he was a genius, right? No one else seemed to agree. I mean, there's a few guitarists in the Yardbirds, and they've all just disappeared, and it's tragic. I thought they were great, you know. I mean, there was a guy called Eric Clapton. It's really good, right, red hot. Jimmy Page, this guy is great. He did session work. Where is he now? Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton. Where are you now? Give us a call. Come and play with the Shire Horses. Just, get your guitar again.
Jimmy Page.
Yeah, brilliant guitarist, honestly. I mean, he was fantastic.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah, what a waste. Honestly, they shone. I thought so. Nobody else did. I could see it myself.
So where are they now, Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton?
Yeah, I mean,
this where are they now thing, right?
Yeah.
Can I have a word?
Yeah, sure.
How can I put this? This is the Best of the Afternoon Show 98. That was Eagle Eye Cherry. Coming up in a moment, a trip round our gallery of dogs as sent in by you. But first, a look back at our searing exposé of the dog picture market with investigative reporter Mark Riley. So, Lard, how did you achieve this searing exposé thing?
Well, I got one of those paper magazine things, you know, and I looked through, right, and one advert said, dog, photo of. So I rang it up.
Searing exposé. Let's go.
Hello.
Hello, can you tell me, have you advertised for a photo of a dog?
Yes.
Oh, you have? You still got it?
I think so, just a minute.
Great.
Have you still got that photograph of the dog?
Hello?
Yes, we've still got it.
Oh, great, okay. Could you tell me what kind of dog it is?
Oh, I've no idea.
You don't know? Thanks.
Hello?
Hello there.
Yeah?
Yeah, you've got this picture of a dog advertised.
Yeah, I don't know what sort it is, because, I mean, it's 1880, the photograph is.
Right. Is it sitting down on the photograph?
It's taken in a studio. It's a cabinet-sized photograph.
Oh, right. And what colour is it?
Colour? How can you tell from it?
Oh, it's black and white, isn't it?
Well, it's sepia.
Oh, is it sepia? Right, so it's brown then?
Pardon?
It's brown.
Brownish, yeah.
Yeah. Is it nice?
I don't know. It depends if you like dogs.
Yeah, well, me and my mate are sort of collecting pictures of the dogs.
Well, that's all I can tell you. It's a cabinet-sized photograph. You know, those are about 4 inches by 7 inches.
Yeah.
Taken in New York after it died in 1886.
It's not dead on the picture, is it?
No, but I mean, it gives you the date the dog died written on the back in ink.
Does it look like a nice dog? Is it,
It looks a nice enough dog. I mean, I don't know. It's not a large dog. It's a small dog and very hairy.
Right.
His face is covered with hair, sort of thing.
Right, okay, fair enough. How much is it?
£2.
£2, right, okay. Would you take a pound?
I will not.
Well, fair enough, don't blame you. First up, Martin Olsen at JT. Title, Ugly Dog on Settee. Cute.
Roger Bayliss there sent in dog asleep on carpet. Bless.
Moving over to Derek Cobner's offering from Clover. Title, Friendly Black Chow. Handsome.
Thompson of Paisley University. Surly Pug. Tasty.
Moving over from Stephen Court. Title, Scabby Old Lady's Dog with Muzzle. And now I don't know if it's the dog that's scabby or the old lady. Nevertheless, nasty.
From May in Surrey. Dog in back garden being humiliated by cruel owner, forcing it to wear paper hat. Harrowing.
And finally, from Eddie Smith. Title, Dog wiring a plug on a Sunday afternoon in a shed. Amazing. Tasty.
And double finally. Here's a picture of a dog from Haley in Leeds. Title, Bulldog in Shades. Throbbing. And remember, we cannot send any of your pictures back.
Mark Radcliffe in the afternoon. At this price, lunacy.
97 to 99 FM, Radio 1.
That was a cracking tune. Best Wishes by Ultrasound at number 4 in our countdown of records of the week. And there'll be a top 3 in the last half hour of the show. Something to look forward to, eh?
Oh, aye.
Hey, now, lad, you know my problem?
Yeah.
Well, it's got a lot better.
Well, you know you've got to thank for that.
Yes, it's amazing how much top-notch medical advice you can pick up during a quality item like Flick or Trick.
It's brand new and dead clever. It's Flick or Trick with me, Gordon. Beast in Heat Burns.
Here we go. Now then, you know, lad.
What?
If you wanted a pint of Willie's Old Groin in the Grimsby area, who would you like to pull it for you?
Well, Ian Onions.
Well, so would I, but he's left.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
Where is he now,
Willie's Pub and Brewery. I think he's working on the telephones. Ian?
Hello.
Ian, onion, no?
Onions, yeah.
Onions, how are you?
I'm all right. Better than I was.
Now then, what's this about an abscess on your arse?
Up my arse.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Can you draw us a diagram and send it in?
Yes, I'll put it on the computer and email it to you.
Very nice, very nice. So you've been in Grimsby Hospital, have you?
I have indeed.
Can you, presumably you can walk, but sitting down's a bit tricky, is it?
A bit dodgy, yes.
Is it, really?
Yeah, it's getting better every day.
Well, look, we wish you a speedy recovery from that.
Thank you.
I mean, I tell you what, wouldn't you be better going back to the pub where you can stand behind the bar rather than sitting down all day giving out phone numbers?
It's enormously tempting at times, yes.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure I find that very easy to believe. I'll tell you what, lad.
What?
I think I've got the start of an abscess up here.
Yeah,
and
I
was thinking about getting some Amoxiclav white antibiotics that are used to clear up abscesses on the body area.
Well, to be honest, I've never had an abscess up, mate.
It's not what I've heard.
And I don't know anybody who has.
I have.
Have you? And what do they like, them antibiotics?
Ooh, they're all right.
Ooh, gadzooks, proud disdainful haggard, should I, who knew not how to entreat, nor never needed that I should entreat, now entreat thee with oaths to do my bidding and ride on toward Will's world of drugs. Well, 'tis thus, and so, my lord, humbly I entreat thee.
Post haste.
So this is Christmas.
Yes, the Wu-Tang Clan and Texas and an orchestra playing something completely different in a different studio, but someone left the window open. Altogether is what it is. But, apparently the vibe on the street is massive.
Massive for that.
Trucks are having to swerve around it. The vibe's that big,
dangerous.
right? So Fat Harry White decided he'd have a go, apparently, because he told me, right, what they need to make a hit record these days is a great song, right? a bloke with a deep voice talking all the way through it.
Yeah.
Right, is that a low-budget orchestra.
Yeah.
Right, and also Madonna's drummer, who comes cheap because he comes in the wrong place.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's about right. So he got the drummer.
Yeah.
He got the Kinks.
That's not
which
bad.
Which is very good.
Wow.
It's very good. He got the BBC Philharmonic. Now, I thought, well, he was apparently offered a cheaper deal from the Halley Orchestra, because they're a bit cash-strapped at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, Halley Orchestra, you know, no job too small, distance, no object.
Right.
But anyway, and he's put it all together, and he's done this Vindaloo Sunset, and he said, seeing as he'll be in later, he said we could have the exclusive. Do you want to hear it?
Of course I do.
Fat Harry, the Kinks, BBC Philharmonic, Vindaloo Sunset.
Drummers, eh? Who's messing with the record?
Dirty old river, as you keep rolling into the night.
Yeah, hear what you're saying. What's he saying?
So busy, make me feel dizzy. Taxi light shine so bright.
One time.
But I
don't feel afraid, not even at night, cause I keep on the landing light. Long as I gaze, Vindaloo sun, Vindaloo sunset in paradise. Vindaloo sunset, long as I gaze, Vindaloo sunset, I suck my face.
every day I look at the world from my window.
You want to get out more, you lazy get. You get fat.
Chilly, chilly is the evening time.
Chilly, chilly, you next southern get. I went out in a cap sleeve t-shirt, right, and I felt nout. Terry meets Julie in his brand new keks. They have a swift off, then they go and have sex. I stay at home, it's a very dull life. Chips and curry, then I snog the wife. Don't feel afraid when the ghoulies come, cause I just shout out for me mum. Long as I gaze, Vindaloo sun, Vindaloo sunset in paradise. Vindaloo sunset, long as I gaze, Vindaloo sunset, I stuff my face. Baby. It's gonna be a hit, man. That orchestra's well out of tune, no, it's a shed. Christ almighty.
So what do you reckon?
A bit of class.
I think that's a hit, don't you?
With the right management.
Remember where you heard that first, right? That's Vindaloo Sunset, Fat Harry White, the Kinks, and the BBC Philharmonic.
It's not bad, is it?
All right, okay then. That was Armand van Helden, and before that, Space with Keris from Catatonia. Today's show is a special collection of highlights of the year with many top quality items still to come, including Mouse News, in-depth reportage with the legendary Ale Bob Nutcher, a final chart countdown of our top records of the week from this year, and of course, Fat Harry White. But first, glad tidings of a quality Christmas gift opportunity. Once in a lifetime comes an album the like of which you will not have heard in your lifetime. To make a few bob to pay the service charge on his retirement flatlet in Marbella, veteran producer John Paul George Martin has brought together a musical marriage made in musical heaven. The heavenly music of the Beatles, complemented with arguably one of the most distinctive voices of the 20th century.
Day after day, a line on a hall. A man with the foolish grin is walking perfectly still, and nobody seems to notice.
It was nobody seems to care.
And they never take an answer because the foil on the hall sees the sun die.
Revel in the beauty of the Ian Paisley Singers as they take you through a magical mystery tour of songs by some Scousers.
I will say the only words I know that you'll understand. F*** off! shell. My bile.
Lie back and luxuriate in the musical jacuzzi as the bubbles of Paisley rise to the surface to give you a relaxing yet stimulating therapeutic thing.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been sleeping like a log.
It's been a hard day's night. You should be sleeping like the dog you are.
I'll sleep like a log.
Mark and Lard Enterprises proudly present Paisley Pop, the Ian Paisley Singers doing some Beatles tunes. Available only on Orange vinyl, this delightful artifact is not available in the shops because it's rotten.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said to me, "Won't see another one." And then he sang a song, the rare old mountain tune. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. Got on a lucky one, came in 18 to 1. I've got a feeling this year's for making you. So happy Christmas, I love you, baby. I can see a better time when all our dreams come true.
They got cars big as bars, they got rivers of gold. Through the windows right through you, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome,
You were pretty queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they held out for more.
Sinatra was swinging, all the drunk folk were singing. We kissed on the corner, then danced through the night. The boys of the NYPD choir were singing, "Go away, babe," and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. You're a bum, you're a punk,
You're an old slut and junk lying there almost dead on a trip in that bed.
you scumbag, you maggot, you cheap, lousy faggot. Happy Christmas, you're ours, I thank God it's our love. The boys of the NYPD choir still singing, "Go away, babe," and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
I could have been someone.
Well, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you.
I kept them with me, babe. I put them with my own. Can't make it all alone. I built my dreams around you.
The boys of the NYPD choir still singing, "Go away, babe,"
And the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
Baby. Hey, how you doing? It is your one, your very only fat Harry White here with a seasonal massage and spreading a little bit of love in the afternoon. Well, what's going on here then? I mean, I don't want to knock this best of the year thing, but I think I've got them too a little worried. I mean, tomorrow, Christmas Day, their services are not required apparently, but yours truly is in for the whole hour of soul and smooch and bump and quite literally grind at 7:30 in the evening. Then again, them boys certainly stood by me when my job was on the line recently, so it's my pleasure to come in and tell you one of my favourite little anecdotes as a tasty morsel of crudite before you get to gobble a full portion of my meat and 2 veg tomorrow night. Because even my wife, you know, Fat Harriet, couldn't have guessed I'd become a top DJ. Although when we first met, we were both working in showbiz at the time. I was on the road with my Love Limited Orchestra, and Fat Harriet, the bread knife, my very, very sexy bread knife, was working for a travelling circus, as the ringmaster she was, actually. I was with Fat Larry when I first copped off with Harriet. I'll never forget it. He ended up with her mate, Brenda the bearded lady. Not that Larry minded, you know, ladies with beards. He used to tell me that when he was alone with Brenda, he liked nothing more than to stroke her big hairy cheeks. He'd spend hours running his fingers through her thick curls until he found her hot, moist lips, which he'd part gently, then kiss softly. Oh, I was a real romantic in them days, was Laz, even with a lady with a very, very hairy face. You know what I'm saying? Well, I immediately fell in love with Fat Harriet as soon as I saw her. What a body she had. All 48 glorious stone of her. She looked fantastic. That was before she started piling the weight on, of course, you know. As it happened, she was outside the circus trying to get punters interested in going in, when she walked up to me and asked me if I fancied getting inside her big top. Well, she obviously knew by the look on my face that I would be eager to have a look. So, after leading me to the entrance of her tent, she stood to the side and after parting her big flaps told me to enter. Well, talk about getting excited. As she went before me to get things underway, I could not believe the size of the ring in front of me. I knew Billy Smart had a big one, but Harriet surpassed this by far. Well, the show that followed was unforgettable. But the most fantastic thing about the whole occasion was that it was the first time I met my beloved, very sexy bread knife, Fat Harriet White. So as I say, anecdotal really, but you know, time of year to sort of celebrate relationships and, you know, well, nice really, isn't it? You know, and with that in mind, shall we spread a little bit of love in the afternoon? I think we should. I got a lovely message here, and the message runs as follows. Hey there, Miss Muffet. In deepest, darkest Leicestershire, let me be your spider, and I'll come right down for a bit of curds and way. So just for you, shall I go down? Do you want me to go really deep down? Here we go. This is you on your very only Fat Harry White going down.
This is Radio 1 with Mark Radcliffe and the hapless boy Lard, looking back on a selection of the best quality items from our award-winning afternoon show during 1998. That was End of the Line by Honeys, Fat Harry White's choice for today. Now then, listen, we've had hundreds of letters asking for pictures of top DJs Skell Nonch and Irk Dre, many of them from devotees of the ancient tradition of Cumbrian tight throat singing. So, for those of you who rushed to the shops just a little too late to secure your copy of their Christmas single, here's a final chance to hear it, followed by a reminder of just how emotional I became when Skell Nonch himself rang us up.
Gentle and kind for all the family.
Well, I've had Skell Nonch on.
Skell? I've not seen Skell for ages.
I've had Skell Nonch on from BBC Radio Poolidge. Right. Sorry about this, right. Skell Nonch has been on, you know, he does the mid...
I know why you're laughing. I remember that now, I was Skell Nonch.
He does the mid-morning show on BBC Radio Pooley Bridge, right? And he says tram exchange. I'll be right with you. Right, hang on a second. Right, thanks very much to Skeldon.
The nice family, the Nonches.
Right, still to come. Oh, right, I am sorry.
The soundtrack to the season.
Christmas Eve.
Got me horny in the morning, I am very
and I also have a very large mark.
Yes, and my feel tight and full of you know.
Well, let's go out and try to bag a bit of top 5.
I'm horny, 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 horny. My is engorged with
I'd like to eat into a
cause we're horny, 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 horny tonight. You got me horny, I would really love to have
I would also like to engage in with some girls.
Yes, that's a good idea. I'd like to tongue myself.
And perhaps finish off with a bout of our kid.
I'm horny, 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 horny. I'd like to engage in all manners of
I'd like to your with my finger.
Cause we're horny, 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 horny tonight. Yes, as I think you've probably realised, I am very horny. I'd like to over a large pair of
and being bisexual, I'm not averse to
cause we're horny, 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 horny tonight. Yes, we're horny, 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 horny tonight. Yes, we're horny, 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 horny tonight. Great memories of classic tunes from the mighty year of 98, mate. That was the Decipherable Boys, followed by a strangely familiar sounding track by Moose T versus Hot and Juicy or something. All purely coincidence, I'm sure. But now, here's an interesting thing, right? Shocked British holidaymakers choked on their meals when Turkish hotel staff began circumcising scores of boys in the restaurant. Can you believe this? When the holidaymakers complained, they were told it's a tradition. Boys as young as 7 screamed in agony as they underwent the snip on a giant bed in the corner of the eating area. The upset customers understandably complained to the travel agents and have been offered £63 in compensation. It's not what you want when you go on holiday, is it? Flipping heck. On the line now to justify these events is the manager of the hotel in question, Ali Bob Nutcher. Are you there, Ali?
Hello, Mark.
Now then, what's this all about then? Circumcising young boys in the dining area? That can't be right.
Look, Mark, as you quite rightly pointed out, this is a tradition and a bit of an earner on the side.
You what, Mr. Bob Nutcher?
Well, they don't get the bed for now, do they, mate?
This is outrageous.
Look, Mark, if you or any other squeamish, raving Nancy English boy has got a problem with it, then that's just too bad. If you don't like it, go to your Butlins or something. Don't you but me, you divot. You go on holiday for the culture, mate. Soak it up.
I don't mind soaking up the culture, Mr. Bob Nutcher, but soaking up the blood, do me a favour.
Give over.
But think of the holidaymakers. It cannot, I put it to you, Mr. Bob Nutcher, have been a very nice spectacle for them.
Look, Mark, we'd even gone to the trouble of laid on a traditional British breakfast that morning, and they still weren't happy.
Why? What did you give them?
Sliced button mushrooms, skin of sausages, and your lovely Heinz tomato sauce.
Right, Mr. Bob Nutcher. There is no pleasing some people, is there?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, go on.
But as I say, Mark, this is a vibrant Turkish hotel full of Eastern traditions.
Yeah.
We've got...
Yeah.
We've got...
Yeah. Mr. Bob Nutcher, this is no laughing matter. Would you like to...
But Matt, as I said, we've got more traditions here than you can shake a traditional pooey Turkish stick at.
Like what?
Well, you may or may not be aware of the great tradition of surgically removing hemorrhoids with a blunt bread knife on the buffet bar.
You're winding me up, aren't you?
I am, Mark, just as my father would have done, and his father before him, and his father, and his father's father.
Yeah, I get the picture.
It's a tradition.
But tradition or not, Mr. Bob Nutcher, it's not very nice, is it? Mr. Bob Nutcher, are you still there? Mr. Bob Nutcher, shall we cut our losses, or would you like to try and get to the punchline?
No, we'll get to the punchline, Mark.
Okay, right.
Well, it's better than being poked in the eye with a sharp stick.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, that's another local tradition. Every Tuesday night in the Nelson Mandela Mezzanine Bar, packs them in a fibre a scalp, Mark.
Right, that's terrible.
Now then, Mark, you're just showing your ignorance. Take the tradition of watering down the lager, for instance. I don't like doing it, but it's a great Turkish tradition, along with the short changing of the drunk and the sending of them to my brother-in-law's dodgy restaurant. We're absolutely steeped in tradition, Mark.
Get away with you. It seems to me the only thing you're steeped in is fleecing unsuspecting British holidaymakers of their hard-earned cash.
Yes, but that's the oldest tradition of all, mate.
Fair enough. See, what was your name again?
I can't remember.
Certainly one of our favourites of the year, just missing the top 3.
Oh, yeah.
That was Hillman Minks and I've Had Enough, the last of our favourite records of the week before our countdown to the top 3, which will be along very shortly.
Hang on a minute.
What?
Top 3?
Yeah.
We've only got space left for 2, haven't we?
Well, no, Hillman Minks, right?
Yeah.
That's just outside the top 3.
Yeah.
So it's number 3.
Yeah.
So that leaves light space for numbers 2 and 1. You're right.
Cockle.
I'll work something out, don't worry. I'll sort it. Let's get the news on. Were the Beastie Boys, followed by the Indecipherable Boys. One of them a top original tune, the other something cobbled together by a bunch of chances. I'm sure I don't need to tell you which is which. You're listening to the highlights of the afternoon show with Mark Radcliffe and the Hapless Boy Lad. Our top 3 singles of the year coming up very shortly, but first a current affairs update. Good afternoon, this is Mark Radcliffe with Mark Riley at the Radio 1 Mouse Bulletin Desk. Mouse urinates in coffee mug in Melton Mowbray, amazed reporters were told today. A mouse was recently killed in a trap in the famous Pie Town. Workers at Martin Joinery, including Kev, looked on aghast as the mouse was trapped by sexy charge hand Paul Ainscoe. However, the mice had the last laugh as a replacement mouse weed in the mug used by Ainscoe, the self-styled hard-hearted mouse butcher of Old Mowbray Town. Les Dennis is so funny. Culinary mouse news now from our mouse food correspondent, Kevin Bouquet.
A middle-aged forklift driver from County Durham was left recovering from shock this morning after finding a baked mouse in his tin of beans. Stunning Robert Davis, 34, 2634, spotted what he thought was a piece of string poking up through the beans and tomato sauce, but it was in fact a field mouse which had crawled inside and had been baked alive. Jovial, wisecracking Manchester City manager Joe Royle said it just goes to show that at this level, first appearances can be quite misleading.
Thanks very much, Kevin. And finally,
Jerry Thompson, a retired merchant seaman aged 64, found a large albino mouse living in the joint of his false leg mark. Although Jerry had no option but to take the rodent out of his plastic limb, he did clean out a drawer where the mouse lives now, rent-free, and Jerry has since christened the mouse Cheeky Mouse.
Right, well, that's all from myself and Mark and Kevin Bouquet. Stay tuned to Radio 1 for more mouse news.
Mouse news.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout.
OK, chart watchers, excitement to double go-go now as we run down the top 10 out of that top 30 gubbins of the year.
And slam dunking in a 10, mate, though I think we've probably got too many records. It's, Gomez, Get Myself Arrested.
Don't worry about the numbers, mate. Leave it to the brains of the organisation.
Okay, mate.
At number 9, it's Richard Davis and Cantina.
And although we've got too many records, slam dunking in an 8 into super furry animals and, ice hockey hair.
I've worked it all out. It'll all be fine. You can rely on me.
Great, mate.
At number 7, it's Uberman and the majestic Shirley Wall.
I'm slightly more confident now and slam dunking in at 6, it's, Sexy Boy.
You've every right to be confident, mate. You left it to me and I've done you proud. Slam dunking in at number 5, Dandy Warhol's seasonal message, every day should be a holiday.
And slam dunking in at 4, and I'm quite literally cock-a-hoop now with confidence as Ultrasound go in with Best Wishes.
No, we have got too many records.
I told you.
All right, I'll have to work something up, mate. Just leave it to me. Have I ever let you down before?
No, mate.
All right, let's go. Slam dunking into the top 3. 4 records have said say. Shirley slam dunked into the top 3, stroke 4, in the last 52 weeks. And propping up the top 3, stroke 4, we've already heard that. It's Hillman Mix, haven't we?
We have.
All right, then. Well, at number 2, it's Superstar. And I'll work something out.
majestic sound of Superstar and a song called Superstar as well, mate, into the top 3 at number 2, all right?
You've cocked it up, mate.
I've worked something out. Don't worry, you can leave it to me.
Fair enough, mate.
All right, then. Let's get on with the next tune. At number 1, sadly, he didn't quite make it to the top of the seasonal pile. It's Elliott Smith.
What a right cock-up.
Record of the fortnight, a fantastic tune from Elliott Smith. Waltz number 2 just failed to make it because he's been pipped. He's only at number 1.
That's ridiculous, that, mate. You've cocked it up.
Ah, but what comes before 1?
Well, none, mate.
All right, then. Here comes a record that slam dunk sensationally into the charts at number 9.
That's absolutely brilliant, mate. Everybody will be doing that. Mark Goodyear will be doing that in the charts next week. Mark my words.
You're not wrong, mate. So hitting the coveted UK number 9, Granddaddy.
You're great.
work on whatever together.
This has been the best afternoon show in the world. Ever. The show that doesn't need desperate cheap stunts to keep people interested over the Christmas break.
What, you mean shameful, cobbled-together cliffhanger endings, like, just for example, like in soap operas?
Yes, my perceptive colleague, that is exactly what I mean.
Well, that's a relief, because whilst a sudden, unexpected disaster would doubtless harness enormous audience figures for the new year, I don't expect anyone could possibly be so cynical.
You're quite right, lad. Hey, I'll tell you what, though.
What, though?
That bogus pilot bigamist sock shop manager who's been sticking it to her with the big glasses.
What, you?
No, I'm a bigamist who works at sock shop part-time, but my glasses are quite small.
Oh, I forgot.
And anyway, I was never a bogus pilot. I only made it to bogus first officer.
So you did, you thick get. So who you on about, then?
Thin Dennis.
What, the bogus sock pilot bigamy shop sticking it to the old big glasses?
What, her with the taut neck muscles and deceased husband of foreign extraction?
That's her.
Well, he's been saying he wants to caress our respective rocks.
Well, I hope he shows his face round here again no more, because I'd be bang up for it.
Me too, I'm gagging for it. Let's put the sound effects on and get stuck in.
Yeah.
Who's this, as if I didn't know?
Why, who is it?
I don't know. It's probably a social stereotype wholly at odds with this earthy working-class northern setting. Blimey! Well, look what the cat sat in. It's shopper mist, bogus, big pilot, bloke, Thin Dennis.
All right, lads. Any potential wife skirt action up for grabs?
No, but what's that navvy drunkard Ronnie McDonough is saying? That you want to caress our collective rocks?
Not half. Hey, let's cut the pleasantries and get down to some nitty and perhaps later some gritty.
Fair enough. But look, isn't that a dangerously out-of-control 747?
Yes, and it looks like it's heading this way.
Never mind that. Drop your trolleys.
Hang on a minute, Thinno. If you're the bogus pilot, who's manning the till at Sock Shop?
Yes, and who's flying the bogus plane that's heading this way and looks like it's going to crash into us before we've had our oats?
See you in a bit, Harry. I'm just off to the shops.
Yes, that is the bread knife fat Harriet who's just nipped out to the offie for a few late supplies because this is your one, your very only fat Harry White coming at you from the Evening Christmas Wireless, inviting you to my night of 100 stars. Hold on, I'm a-coming there by the great Dave Samuels, and my celebrity guests will soon be coming to my night of 100 stars, and hey, you're invited too, because this is your one, your very only fat Harry White for Christmas Day, having sent out my invitations, waiting for the guests to arrive. Now then, just have to chase a couple of them up on the phone, actually. First of all, I'm going to phone the sexy Chasney from All Saints. Now, you know, the wife's nipped to the office, she'll be back soon, you know, there's no guessing. Oh, it's ringing. Sexy Chasney, you think she'll be in on Christmas Day? Here we go. Hey, Shazna, it's your one, your very only fat hair white calling. How you doing, babe?
Hello?
Hello.
Thank you for calling. This is Shazna from All Saints.
I know, I've just...
I'm afraid I'm not in at the moment. I went out about an hour ago and I've not come back yet. Besides, I'm staying in tonight and I think you've got the wrong number. So after the tone, please don't leave a message or call back. Thank you. Beep.
A few questions that I need to know. How you...
Yeah, that is ever the sensational sound of the Old Saints. Hey, I just phoned Sexy Shazna out of the Old Saints, you know, to invite her over to my big celebrity bash. But I must have the wrong number. I think I must have written it down wrong. Come to think of it, when I did ask her to let me have it in the back of my soft-top Bedford Rascal, you know, 2 months ago, it was a bit dark and, you know, I couldn't really see what I was doing. To be perfectly honest, I don't think I had enough lead in my pencil. And not only that, the big pink rubber I had on the end dropped off. Should have used one of them magic markers, really. I tell you what, next time, I'm going to get me big, thick, red-ended jumbo one out and slowly take everything down. And not only that, I'll do it with the light on. Anyway, there'll be plenty of other very sexy lady friends at my party. You know, when they all eventually turn up. I mean, it's only early yet, and it's probably all come at once, you know, a bit like the buses, won't they, you know? Hey, here's a car now. It looks like me old mate, Smokey Robinson. Oh, no, it's not. It's the vicar. I always get them mixed up since he's had his afro trimmed and his ears pinned back, you know. Honestly, he used to have a right big flappy pair. You won't believe the amount of hair he had sprouting out of them. I think he plucks them now since the cosmetic surgeon, Everard, sorted him out. Hey up, looks like the vicar's getting me present out. Oh, no, he's not. He's emptying his ashtray on the side of the road. Hey up, he's off. He's probably left his cigs at home. He'll be back later. Party won't be the same without the old vicar, you know, pulling on his king size. I know it's a filthy habit, but he only does it once a year, you know, at Christmas. I mean, I'm not going to moralise about it. Be a bit hypocritical, wouldn't it, you know, considering I enjoy the odd fag now and again myself. In fact, I quite fancy a puff now. Mind you, the last time I sucked on one at a Christmas party, it left a really yucky taste in my mouth, only had a little tip. And when I actually finished it off between my lips, you know, taking it all in, my cheeks billowed out, and I ended up spitting it out on the carpet, made a right mess it did. Anyway, I think I'll have one in a minute when my guests start flooding in, you know, for my night of 100 stars on Radio 1. It might be even sooner, you know, won't be long, you know, till they eventually arrive, you know. Well, I'll just give them another few minutes before I start ringing round again, you know. Hey, I think I'll have a little dance on me. I'll put one of my cassettes on. I'll have a bit of Sly and the Family Stone, I think. Oh, yeah. A family affair.
It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
Oh, it's a family affair. Oh, yeah. What a great cassette that is. That's the sensationally smooth-tastic single. Oh, it's a family affair by Sly and the Family Stone. Used to be called Sly and the Family Jewels when there was more of them in the band, you know. Now it's just me old mate Sly and the one Stone, Big Ruby. And what a very sexy lady this Big Ruby is. Hey, and what a performer too. You just asked me old mate, Fat Larry, when he let her play on his big old organ backstage one night, he said she just blew him away. Never expected it to be so good. Said it was an experience he'll never forget. Hey, she won't be long. Soon be here, probably driving over as we speak. I think Sly said he'd pick her up in his 6-wheel stretch Skoda. Hey, you might laugh, but I tell you what, if you ever fancy a quick ride, Sly will be only too happy to give you one. Honestly, Sly's big pink one is something else. Very easy to handle, gets a regular servicing, and would you believe, shoots off rapidly. Baby, what can you say about that then? Anyway, I think I'll just give Big Ruby a ring and make sure she knows what time it is. I mean, her clock's might have stopped, you know, and she might think she's got hours till my party starts. And Sly's watch could have stopped too, you know, his fake Timex. You've seen it, he always has it on. Mind you, the last time I saw him at the swimming baths, he had it off when he was in the water. That was about a fortnight ago when he called round and asked me if I fancied a quick length. Well, I always enjoy a nice dip with old Sly, so I told him I would love to join him. The only thing was, when we got in the water, Sly started acting the goat. Well, two can play at that game, I thought. So I crawled up behind him, and when he sensed me coming, I immediately pulled back and gave him a right splashing. He was soaked, he was. He got a real gobful, I might add. Anyway, I'll just phone up and make sure Sly and Ruby know what time it is. They'd be so disappointed if they missed me party, especially big, sexy Ruby. Right, I'll give him a ring now. Blimey, Charlie, speak of the devil, that'll be them now. Yo, Sly, my main man, how you doing, brother?
Sorry, I'm Beck.
Beck? Beck who?
I'm Beck. Beck from the band Beck.
Oh, that Beck, why didn't you say so? Yo, Beck, my main man, how you doing, brother? I did not recognize you in your duffel coat. I mean, just look at you stood there with your big floppy hood covering your head. Why don't you just pull it back, get behind me, and yours truly will allow you to come inside. The party is just beginning.
Actually, I haven't come to your party, Harry.
What, too busy, are you? I suppose you're recording your new album.
Actually, I'm looking for the Dandy Warhol's place.
Oh, what, you're recording your new album with them?
No, they've invited me to their party. I thought they lived here. Look, I'm sorry to bother you, Harry, but do you know where they do live?
Yeah, they live next door. Try next door, mate. And tell them to keep the noise down. It's disturbing me big celebrity party. Me guests can't hear a thing. When they arrive. Right, where's me phone book here? There must be someone I can chase up here. Here we are. R. Kelly. He's a good mate. He won't let me down. He'll turn up. The sensational, sumptuous, sexy sounds of my good friend R. Kelly there. And she's got that vibe, and I'm going to phone him up and make sure that he's coming to my night of 100 stars here on Glittering Show Business, Radio 1. Right, come on, I'll get to the phone now. Come on. He better be in. Got to be someone turning up soon. Right, he's going to answer the phone now. Come on, Ars. Come on, bud. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's Harry White here. How you doing, mate?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah,
this is R. Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to come to the phone right now. In fact, I'm unable to come to the party either, because I'm staying in over Christmas, and I got a sore throat, and I've lost my voice, so I can't talk either. In fact, this is my brother Tom speaking. Hi there, how you doing? Don't leave any messages, as I won't be able to hear them, because I got an ear infection as well. Beep, 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 beep.
She's a good singer, and I love her fish fingers. That was Donna. Baby. A very, very sexy Donna Ross with her Supremos and Shop in the Name of Love, an all-time classic on the Motel label, and indeed a forerunner to house and garden music, which you hear so much of on 97 to 99 FM Radio 1. Hey, I tell you what, I think there must be some bug knocking about. My old mate Ars Kelly's laid up with a sore throat and an ear infection, and I won't be surprised if he hasn't got a cold as well, you know. Last time I had one, the only relief I got was when I went through the night nurse all night long. Hey, what was that then? It sounded like someone was at the door. Hang on a minute. Wow, blimey, it's Billy. What a surprise. Come in, Billy. Here, Billy. What, you don't want to come in? Here, let me get you a nice saucer of milk, my little pussy. Billy, come back! Oh, too late, she's gone. Probably didn't hear me. Probably has an ear infection. I mean, there's a lot of it about, you know. In fact, I think our postman, Dave, is off with it too. I've not had any Christmas cards in the post this year, you know. Probably all arrive in the morning, you know, when Dave gets back on his round. The only one I got was the one that Fat Harriet bought me, you know. Hey, isn't it lovely? Very similar to the one she got me last year. In fact, almost identical, I'd say. She obviously knew how much I liked last year's and very generously went out and bought the exact same one again. Hey, look, even signed it with the same message as well. Happy Christmas, Harry, whatever year it is. Honestly, when I went upstairs and, got it out in front of Fat Harriet in the bedroom, I was really touched, I was. Lovely picture of a large, plump robin sat on a log with his mate by his side. I tell you what, I've seen some big cocks in my time, but none of them were anywhere near the size of the one I was looking at in the hand. It really stirred my imagination, it did. I could just imagine it. 1 minute, resting motionless in a relaxed state. The next minute, getting all excited and shooting up in the air. Big pecker thrust out and disappearing upwards in seconds. Well, it's a lovely Christmas card, and I put it in the front room with my Christmas tree now. Unfortunately, I had a very nasty accident involving my Christmas tree decorations last night, would you believe? I was just getting them out when Fat Harriet walked in the room with a freshly baked lasagna and clumsily dropped it all over them, covering not only the small antique figure I usually put on top of my tree, but also a large pair of silver baubles and my little multicoloured bell. Honestly, the old fairy in the pink dress took a right load. My big shiny balls were covered in sauce, and my round purple bell end was smeared with cheese. Anyway, I've since cleaned the mess up. Well, with the party and that, you've got to make the effort, haven't you? All the big knobs in the business will be here, and a lot of my very sexy lady friends too. Lady! Like my very sexy lady friend in particular, that is Miss Hinder Hicks. Hey, I'll put on her cassette and then I might give her a ring just to make sure that she is turning up to my night of 100 red stars. Oh, baby! I wanna be... Oh, yeah, the sound of Hinder Hicks. She's called Linda Lex, actually. She's changed it for show business. And I want to be your lady. And Hinder, I want to be your man. Now, I'm going to give her a ring because I sent her a map of how to get here, but then perhaps like the house has been burgled or something and someone's stolen the map. What do you think? Yeah, possible, isn't it? So I'll give you a ring to chivvy her along. I'll chivvy up the Hicks now. Right, come on, Hinder, get to that phone. Oh, I've not finished dialing yet, have I? Right, she's not had a chance. Oh, there, it's ringing. Right, come on, come to that phone, Hinder, or Linda Licks, Hinder Hicks, whatever. Right, come on. Oh, right, yellow. Hey, Hinder, it is your one, your very only Fat Harry White coming at you from the telephone.
Hi,
hello.
This is Hinder Hicks speaking.
I know.
I'm afraid I'm unable to take your call at the moment, whoever's calling.
It's me,
because
sorry.
I've not heard it ring.
Oh, right. Well, that explains it.
I've gone out for a bottle of milk.
Oh, really?
It's going to be quite some time. So there's no point in leaving a message because my answer phone's not working.
Oh, dear.
Beep, beep, beep.
Sounds in need of attention. Oh, this is a good cassette.
Now if there's a smile on my face, it's only there trying to smile on my face.
There's a big smile on my face. What a great cassette. Really makes me want to get down. Hey, should we all get down? Well, it's only me here. Might get down on the own. Shall I get down? Shall I get right down? Let me, your one, your very only Fat Harry White, get right. Oh, fantastic that, wasn't it, eh? The sweet soul sound of Smokey Miracle and the Robinsons with Tears for a Clown, a big hit for the band in 1968, just before Smokey went solo and had a #1 with Living Next Door to Alice in 1971. Hey, I'm not sure what happened to the Robinsons. I think Robert, the bass player, went on to work in TV, and Tom, I believe, ended up as a fudge packer. At a sweet factory. Anyway, it doesn't look like Hinder Hicks will be able to make it to my party, does it? Mind you, there'll be plenty of other very sexy ladies around. At least I'll have the bread knife Fat Harriet to dance with when she eventually comes back from the off licence. She's been gone almost an hour now. Maybe I'll give me old mate Fat Larry a ring, see what time he's coming. Right, you know, I can always rely on Fat Lars, can't I? Right, come on, Larry, get to that phone, get round here, we can start ripping it up. You know, some paper, rip it up, and nice, won't it? Right, come on! Oh, it's ringing now. Fat Lars, come on, answer that phone, matey boy. Come on, get the party started.